Okie dokie. Well, here we are, Ambiente 2018, in the point of experience area. We've got two young gentlemen here who we met at the stand. We're going to have a bit of a chat about what is this point of experience. They've told me their tag is schoenhaesslich, which in English means so much as beautifully ugly, which I like. It's about taste, I guess. And please introduce yourselves, what you guys do, where you come from. And first of all, would you like a drink? Coke, Fanta? Coke? Cool. So I'll pass the microphone over and you guys introduce yourself, a bit of what you do.
Hi, my name is Johannes. I'm from schoenhaesslich, lifestyle blog, and we're from Germany, Stuttgart. It's in the south of Germany. I'm an art director, and thank you for having us here, Ben.
Yeah, hello, my name is Pierre. I'm also part of schoenhaesslich, and I also own a digital agency. And today we would like to know what the shopping experience will look like in the future. So here we are in the past right now. So we see all these old products. Some are very known for us, but like Persil, but there are also some which we don't know, like Schinkenhäger or Hoffmanns Stärke, but almost also well known. But today it's going to be about how is the shopping experience in the future. Also in a comparison with the digital live and online shopping, and we're gonna find out what are new possibilities for shopping in the future, and also we ask some questions what kind of ideas they have.
So, I mean, and again, I think it's really interesting to sort of show where we're standing right now. And if I think about where my grandparents grew up, my father and my mother grew up, this is what a store would have looked like when they were growing up. We understand, as you said, we know the brands, some of them, but imagine the shop, this type of product being sold in the next 5-10 years. I think that's what this point of experience area is all about. So why don't we go and have a check out some of the things they've got installed here, just have a discussion about how we've come from and where we're going. And even, I think, to look even further from where what we're seeing today, how will that evolve in the next 5 or 10 years? When my children, my 7-year-old, goes into a store in 10 years' time, what's going to happen? So let's. I'll pass the mic to you. So you walk over there. I'll be with you in a moment.
So let's check this out. Are we going over there? And let's see how the futures change the way we buy things. So there's Ben again.
So that's live for you. People are already standing in the area we were. So let's sort of maybe adapt and move over here for a bit. Here we've got, again, if these shops were selling these pots and pans, I think it's quite interesting just to look at the very, very reductionist mentality of these shelves. And when you pick up the product, please grab one for me. You'll find a barcode below it. You place it on top of the barcode scanner. Hold it up a bit. There you go.
Oh, nice.
And you can really sort of, from that really sort of stark shelving situation, not really knowing much about the product, the product's explained actually in use. Even using a metal spatula in there. Might grab another one, have a look at how it changes.
Yeah, I like feeling, so you instantly get a feeling for what it's used for and what situation I'm doing this and how big it is.
You also get an idea of how to use the product, and maybe here you see some receipts you can cook. It's also a nice idea. Yeah, maybe you could later in the future also save some receipts you like in your profile, if you have like a shopping profile or something like that.
That's actually, what you just said there is quite interesting. There's actually a page at the front. We just cruise out the front here, a bit of spontaneous sort of challenge my cameraman. That's actually a topic which these guys are also talking about. If I do go into a store, I have a good experience, I tag my friends, or I say, hey, I like this on Facebook. The idea of the shop in the future is that can actually be live streamed. So people are in the store liking things, rating it, hashtagging and smileys or hearts. People outside the store get a feeling for what's going on inside. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I could imagine that you also could see the recommendations they have.
Yeah.
And what we talked about when we drove here to the Ambiente, we also spoke about, is there something like a login if you walk into the store? So maybe the products change for you, and maybe the look of the store changes. Like you log into a shop, and so it's very personalized.
And you have to bring the benefits of the digital world to the retail. That was the key feature we talked about. All the comments, the reviews, the things the internet brought to us should be added in the retail store, and even so, the digital stores have to look at the retail stores what they are doing, like support, service. I can grab things, I can smell things. I think that's very important for both of these worlds.
So the senses of actually being in the space as well, playing with the sensory experience of actually walking into a store.
Say it again, please.
Sensorial experience, so the smells, the sounds.
Yeah, that's the most important thing in a retail store, and that's what I can get here. Plus the features with augmented reality or new technologies, you can bring these digital features to these haptic thing.
You've just touched on a point. So let's just go for a walk past the store. Well, there's lots of people here. If I talk to you guys about one of the areas here, you're talking about how you experience a product. So what's the touch, the feel, the smell? But even there's a next level here called the atmosphere cabin, which I think is very, very interesting. What you've got here is what happens when you've bought the product and you're actually going to go and use it. So that actual in-use experience, how do you build a world around that makes the product more desirable, makes someone actually purchase the product? So let's walk in here. It's going to be a bit tight, but I think we can manage it. And I think if
you go into such a big scene and you really are very fast into the moment. So you're really inside this world, and I think you can feel the product much better than you if you haven't that, yeah?
It's kind of 4D experience. I have the things in front of me, around me, and it immersed the feeling with the product. Yeah, I couldn't imagine that.
I can imagine if there's a company out there with shoes on the shelf, and the ones with this product playing behind their product to be sold, I think it's absolutely incredible. I'm going to switch. I think it's a moment where if I'm going to buy a shoe, I'm going to buy the one with this sort of content playing around it, because it's going to inspire me to be passionate about that object.
Like a hiking shoe, and in the moment I place it on the table, the mountains grow, and I even hear the birds. Yeah, that would be great.
So any more thoughts on the space in here? Please spontaneously.
Yeah, maybe this is also some kind of future with the virtual reality, that you walk into digital rooms and have this experience also. But also the senses. That is, I think, a big point that you always need inside the retail. Yeah.
Even just the music in the background, I feel a bit more light-feeted. Let's get out of it before I start dancing. Now, I think if this table's not too busy, what we'll do is we'll try and interrupt these guys over here. I think you just said something really interesting. What if there's no store and it's just a virtual reality space? And I think this is also one of those things where if you look over this guy's shoulder, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's called the wedding table. So if someone's purchasing gifts for someone's wedding, or you're trying to create your wedding list, your shopping list you'd like to have bought for you, you literally can select and choose and take a picture and send that to the wedding guests, etc., etc. We'll see if we can actually interrupt these guys in a moment. But just enjoy. Hi, thank you. Can we steal it? Great. Can you hold the microphone again? I know it's very, very strange for me to give you the microphone again.
Yeah.
So, again.
So you're going to add some products on the table?
Yeah, you can pick the, say, salt and pepper shaker. I love these because they've always got this really cool sort of interactive moment. And what you can actually do is then not zoom in like with the fingers, actually walk up to it like in real life and actually see what's going on. If I want to move it again, I just pick it up and give it a twist, take a nicer photo. So these objects are, of course, not on the table, but it's almost like I can fill this table with whatever I want in 20, 30 pieces and create my little experience.
So, yeah, I think it looks very realistic, actually. And the reason that you can turn it around and it's a 3D, that looks pretty cool. I could also imagine if you have like a dinner or something, and you want to arrange your table and you already want to know how it looks like before your guests are coming and before you buy the whole set of dishes, and that would be a good experience inside the store.
Please.
And I think you can get a very good feeling for the size of the products. And I think the most important part with this technology is I can have it in my smartphone, go away or try it at home. So I imagine shopping online and then projecting, see the projection on my table or in my kitchen. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I think, I mean, even if I remember back to my wedding planning days when we were planning our wedding and trying to think of what the tables will look like. Yeah. You can make like 2 or 3 different concepts of maybe different plates, different decorations. It becomes a way to try out what the room's going to look like on your actual wedding day. And just press order, and all the objects you've chosen, 33 of these, 43 of those, and it all gets delivered.
And I imagine very big things, yeah? Talking about big tables or does this car fit in my garage? I don't know, yeah. But yeah, heavy, big things on my smartphone in front of me, and I see the size, and I see if I like it and how it looks. I think that's great. Oh no!
You just died.
Okay, so it's now just you and me. That guy's now gone. The on-shelf experience, this little area here, as I understand, if you just go and pick up one of these products for me, you'll see what happens. And then turn around, look at the screen, you've got that product actually on the screen behind you. Yeah. Grab the sloth tea bag, this one here. Let's lift this one. And there he is. So it's maybe a different lifestyle image, or a video can start playing, but when you pick up a product and interact with the object, the space starts to adapt and recognizes what you've got in your hand.
Played at this moment, or what's the purpose of this? So the store reacts on my product. Okay, that's a funny product.
And it might, I mean, if you look into the next generation of this, it might know where you've been before and show that product in a certain type of kitchen, a certain type of area with other objects you've already picked up. That's sort of, I think, the next level of that is what are people touching in the store, gathering that information, actually providing an in-use, like a personalized shopping experience. If you pick that up in that order, they might get shown throughout your shopping experience.
And you bought this, maybe you need those too. Okay.
Might even make suggestions.
Yeah, I could also imagine that you take this one product and see it on the screen, and maybe you can configure it on the screen and change the color or change the sizes, and then you put it inside your shopping cart, like you have a digital shopping cart, and then go to checkout. Or I don't know how the checkout is here, how it's planned. Is it just like Apple Pay or? Well,
this is where.
Yeah, I imagine someone has not the money to buy a huge store, so he maybe has 10 square meters or something, and he has one product on the scanner, yes. And you enter the store, you interact with the product, you configure it, and buy it. Yeah. And it's shipped home or something.
There's not 18 different SKUs or different types of product on the shelf. It's the one product with all of its different digital versions that get delivered to your home. Speaking of delivering and point of sale, I'll say there's an actually perfect time. You look at the screen here, Misha. I think what you just described about having a shopping cart, having that online experience in store, liking things, sharing things, asking opinions of people, but actually live, and actually just almost going to the store and liking the things, and you leave the store without actually having to go to the cashier. It all gets sent to your doorstep. What are your thoughts on this sort of? Again, you mentioned the buying experience. This is almost like the paying experience. What do you think about that?
I'm thinking about my wife buying tons of things and don't have to carry the bags, because everything is shipped directly home and is even paid.
with your credit card. This is how it works. Yeah, I think it's cool, but you could also share it in the moment with your friends or your best friend. Do you like it? How does it look? Yeah, I think this is also a very important point for girls, for women. Yeah.
Pick this color, and yeah, that's.
So you could actually share maybe a shopping cart. That could be cool. Yeah. And can you also configure it in this version?
Well, I think that's what our dialogue is about today. I mean, if you guys say, hey, this exists as an idea starter, how could it evolve? When you say configure, what do you mean by configure?
Like you have like one bag, yeah, and you can change the color or change the size. So this could be possible. So you only have this one product or like 3 products. You don't need the whole range actually inside. There are also some tags, and this is the dashboard. Okay, it looks very futuristic actually. Yeah, and it could work actually. You can imagine that. It's not like it's a sick idea.
Well, if we think about the new Amazon store, which has recently been launched, you walk through the store, you pick the things you want, they know what you're picking up, you walk out of the store and it's charged your Amazon account. I mean, the future is today. I mean, my question to you, last question for you guys would sort of be, what's the next generation of that? In 5 years' time, 10 years' time, what are the social things we're observing, technologies we're observing right now that can have a huge effect on where we're going to be in 5, 10 years?
I think the most the hugest effect is going to be the way we pay for things. I think about a trip to Hong Kong, where it feels like we're in the future. Everybody is paying with a card without entering a PIN. Everybody is using, I think it's called Octopus.
Yeah, and they use WeChat.
They use WeChat and NFC chips in their phones. And I think the way we are paying now at this time here in Germany is very outdated and very slow. It's a slow technique.
Yeah, because it's a lot of factors with paying keyless and paying without actual cash. That makes some people nervous. I mean, there's a cultural shift there in society to actually have the trust in the technology, have the trust in the systems behind it. Is that a topic for the future as well?
Yeah, I think this needs some time actually in the society, so they accept these kind of payments. But I think it's also very important that the connection between the digital world and between the store has just to fit into each other. Yeah, it just has to be smooth and that you pay only online, and it has to be very easy actually, because at the moment a lot of little stores are disappearing because they don't get the connection. Yeah, so this will be a big thing for the future, that we don't only have empty shopping malls. Yeah.
You just said the magic word, smooth transition, so I think that almost closes off my questions for you. If you've got any last thoughts for us, please feel free. But it's been a pleasure to meet you both, and look forward to maybe seeing you around the Ambiente 2018 a couple more times. All right? Nice to meet you. Take care.
Nice chat.
Take care. See ya.